Hello everyone, today I am going to show you how to rig and texture a cog in Autodesk Maya. So you start out with a blank file. In the video description I have included a .zip of everything you will need to make any cog you want and some example renders. So you can get what I'm about to use in the description. So once you have your folder open, you're going to want to see it's my cogstuff.zip. I've got the cog bodies, the textures, the head models, the example images. So we're going to go into the torsos. Today I feel like making a loan shark. So because it's an OBJ file, it's going to say this, but it's a single mesh object, which is fine because I'm certain that's what they used for the original cogs. So you're going to see that it comes out flat because the cogs are Z up. So you're going to want to right click on this and then go to that, rotate it like that so it is standing up. A lot of the cogs are backwards, so if you really want it to be like facing forwards, you can, because as you can see from the front view you get the back of the cog body, and the top view you get the top, side is the side, but there are various, hitting spacebar will bring you to these multiple views in Maya. You can probably change the keys as you wish, but I'm just going to leave the cog as is because the heads do very much the same thing. So you're going to see, once you click on it, you've got your cog mesh. So what we're going to do is let's apply the textures. So first, what's going to make our textures much easier to see is you'll want to go to the rendering menu and create an ambient light. This won't be important yet because we're just selecting faces to put the textures on. So we're going to go into face mode, select the hands, then just zoom in, make sure you haven't selected any extra faces or anything, and if you've missed some, select them. Do the same thing on the other hand, like so. See that I've accidentally selected his sleeve, cuff, shirt cuff. So if you do that, just hit shift click to deselect them. Then right click, hit assign new material, Lambert, color, hit the tiles, file. Then I'm going to want to go to my folder, Maya cog stuff, which is just what I've called it, textures, the hand goes on the hand, and view, oh, oops, I don't know what I just opened. Okay, never mind, I don't know what that was. There we go. I didn't realize I was not in the correct mode. To see your faces with the default Autodesk Maya lighting, you're going to want to hit 6 on your keyboard. And it only applied it to that hand, but don't worry. Material attributes, no. You want to go to faces, select the hand again, and you won't have to apply it again because it will already be an existing material, Lambert 2. Material attributes, so what you'd want to do is you want to rename it to a texture so you'll remember what it is if you want to assign the material again. So the thing about cache bots is they're weird and they don't have a wrist cuff texture, and so I just would assume that they would use any of the other ones because they're essentially the same, just with a different name. Assign new material, Lambert, color, file, image name, suit textures. So see how there is, and the same applies for the wader textures. So we don't want that. We want a sleeve. No, we want the arm file. So let's see. There's the bossbot arm. There's lawbot arm. And are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? This is the cellbot arm. Spooky. So I'm just going to use the cellbot arm because they're all the same exact texture anyway. So you're going to want to select that face. This is optional. You don't have to rename your textures. It's just very helpful. Because, say for example, it didn't apply to another part of the model, I could just select that face and go right to it. If you hear any weird like scratching noises in the background, I happen to have a dog. Her name is Lily. She's good. She's a wonderful dog. Which she's not related to this tutorial whatsoever, but I just wanted you guys to know I have a really cute dog and her name is Lily. So faces. So for the cog models, what's weird about them is you'll have to zoom to the inside of the model because there are some faces on the inside, and this applies for all of the suits, A, B, and C. There are some faces inside of them that clip. You've probably seen the clipping faces before in the cog animations. Because I think on some of the ones where they get trapped or they slip or get dropped on, you can see like you can see it. You can see this part in here. I think there's one animation where the whole arm comes out, but I don't remember which one it is. So I want to select these faces, assign material, Lambert, color, texture, file. So we're making a loan shark. We're going to want the sleeve. And so, go into object mode, you'll notice how it looks all shaded. If you hit 7 on your keyboard, ta-da! It looks like Toontown lighting. Because I believe Toontown's lighting was mostly ambient. I don't think they had a lot of different lighting in game, except for, I think in Donald's Dreamland there might have been different lights. I don't remember. I don't even know what Panda 3D really uses for lighting. I don't think... Well, I don't know. Lighting is weird. I don't know a lot about lighting, but I think Toontown may or may not have had different lights in, like, Dreamland and Cog HQs. Alright, so it's pretty easy, pretty much easier from here because the arms are the hardest part to select. So we're going to want to just select all of these. Select this, select that, select this, select that, select this, select that again, select this again because my mouse slipped. So this video also will show you how to rig a cog, but assign new material, Lambert. I will do that very shortly once I have the head imported. So as you can see, go to object mode, there is the green little hole right there that you see sometimes with the cog's head. Oh, right. Faces. I did not select beneath. So now he's going to look funny. No, I don't want the leg. Did I get every triangle? Yes, I did. I want to deselect that triangle. Assign existing material. Oops, I haven't been naming these. It's fine. So, did I get all of them? Yes. The shoe textures actually are really strange. Just so you know, cog shoe textures I do not believe actually exist. So you're going to have to just manually assign 2 Lambert textures to the different faces of the shoe. Lambert. There. We've got our bean. We've got our gangly cog right here. So I'm not really going to mess with the shoes too much right now. I don't feel like being... Well, actually, no. I'm just going to give them a very basic texture. I'm not going to bother with like the little white line around them, because they're on cogs there is a little line that goes across their shoes. That's just to indicate that it's a shoe, I guess. But I really don't care about it right this second. Assign existing material embarrassing. There. Now we have our cog. The hands are currently white, as there is a reason why in code they have the hand texture to be white as they have the toon textures to be white, so that Panda 3D can use colors to apply the color. So it's why you would have, say, it's why you would have, oh, that's how, see, it's that same texture, same looking texture. It's that texture, but with a different color applied to it. As likely noted in my earlier video, how to make a cog with the Panda 3D files. So, now that we have our cog put together and textured, we have our heads next. So, let's just move our cog out of the way. Now, something interesting about the head models is they literally don't apply a texture, so you can see what cog it is just by looking. That's Ambulance Chaser, but I have to delete him. Who's this? This is Telemarketer and Spin Doctor, gotten rid of. Pencil Pusher, gotten rid of. Bloodsucker and Mover and Shaker, gotten rid of. Bean Counter and Downsizer, gotten rid of. Loan Shark, there we go. However, as you see that this head is plain white, but there is no texture applied to it, attempting to apply any texture to this model will not work. So instead, you have to select the object and go to the mesh menu and extract the faces. And so now it should be a perfectly fine looking 3D object. And what cog head is that? Okay, I guess that was a cog head of some kind. Not really relevant to our shark now. So now we have our untextured loan shark head. We're going to want to go to our trusty Lambert, open up that file. Then we go to the textures folder and the head textures. And so we want to find, where is that loan shark texture? There it is. Open. And we see it loads just fine. Hey buddy, how are you? So, we're going to want to move this to Y to the center plane. We're going to want to move We're gonna want to put this. Oh, that's funny. 1776. So as you see, put it back. When we put it back to 0, it's in this crotch. So how we fix that was just use the move tool and move it up. I think I got it right on the first try. Good job. There is a way, so if the white hands are bugging you, I'll show you how to fix that. So, material attributes. Okay, hold on. You want to go to face, select a face without texture. Material attributes. File 1. File attributes. Color balance. So you can edit these 3 colors. I can never remember which one it is. I always have to play with it. But I think that may be the lone shark hand color. Alright. There it is, that's close enough. Color gain. There we go, it's color gain. It's that one. So you'll notice now the hands are that color. I don't think it's the perfect lone shark hand color, but we're not going for perfects right now. So, now that you have your cog and its head, notice, however, there are 2 different meshes. So we're just going to want to select both of them, go to Mesh, Combine. Perfect. Usually I would move a cog's legs apart if I was going to be rigging it, because it makes the skin weights act all funky, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because showing you how to do skin weights is good. So we're going to want to go out of the polygons menu here and go to animation, click skeleton, HumanIK, create skeleton, and you'll notice it's absolutely massive. So we're going to want to do 0.01, I think. Oh, no. Not quite. Almost there. No. Where did the skeleton go? Trying to scale this thing is really obnoxious, by the way, if you don't exactly know what you're doing. So 0.5, 0.2. It's a lot of trial and error. There we go. Perfect. Alright, so here you can edit what fingers the cog will have. You can edit if it's going to have like toes or not. My preferred settings is, as you can see, you can move. So cogs aren't like perfectly human, so you're going to want to get rid of. So the finger joint count, I always set it to 2, and then I shut off everything. So you have index, thumb, and pinky fingers. As you can see, the 3-fingered hand matches with the 3 fingers on the cog hand. Don't do more than that, because any extra fingers just won't make any sense, because there's only this piece and this big piece, which will be affected just the same by the joints. Then we'll want to go to toes. I don't want any toe base, because the cogs don't really have that, I don't believe. So, now that we have our HumanIK rig, and these are very, very easily editable. Now, hold on, we want to rotate this. Character on hips, rotate. 180. Now it's fronting, face fronting. So not the bones I want to select. And so, as mentioned before, this is very easily editable. You can move this however you like, to however you want. As seen with speed modeling, Maya does indeed take time. So we're going to want to select the parts we want to go places. There. Now we get to have the ultimate fun of moving around the hands. And usually I'd be a little picky about this, but I've learned over time that I don't really care that my hands aren't exactly perfect, because the cog models aren't exactly perfect either. Ooh, I'm going to go back to I should go back to the HumanIK menu and change it so that there's only like 2 hand joints, but I don't really mind. I think having a couple more joints makes in a little bit, it's weird, but it makes doing the skin weights just a little bit easier on the hands if they're really messed up, because then you have like distinct areas where your joints are. And I want to move that hand up just a little bit. There we go. Lots of moving things around. The skeleton, putting your skeleton together is just a lot of moving stuff around. And this video will be long, like it's already long already, but Autodesk Maya is a powerful program. It's not cheap. You can get it. You can get it. There are ways to get it for free if you're like a student or something, but this is an educational purpose. I mean, it's not, I guess it's not wrong for me to give it to you guys, to tell you how to get it as a student. Because essentially, you probably will want to learn. If you're watching this, you probably already do want to learn how to do 3D modeling like this, and how to rig video game things. Having Maya is really good if you want to like add stuff to games like Gary's Mod or Source Filmmaker, because you can extract models. Oops. And put them into Maya and re-rig them to fit on a valve biped skeleton. So, we've got our HumanIK all figured out. Now it's time for magic. Literally awesome, cool magic. So you're going to want to go to the Skin menu, Smooth Bind, click the little box. You'll see these things everywhere. I would select 2 max influences. Colorize your skeleton. It just makes it easier to pick your joints out. So there's different ways that you can put the skinning method. The default, I believe, is closest distance, which is a hit or miss with some of the cogs, but the one that I find works best for me is geodesic voxel. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I've never heard anybody say this before or even mention it to me, but I found that works the best. So, bind skin. It takes a little while longer, but it will ultimately save you a little bit more time with skin weights, because I find it to be more accurate on the cog models. So, now that we have our skeleton, you're going to be like, oh cool, it's all rigged and ready, right? Not quite. It's all rigged and ready, right? Maybe. So, you're probably pretty excited because this probably worked very well already. You'll just have to fix some skin weights, and then you come to the legs. Dear God. Be like, where did I go wrong? Well, it's nothing you did, it's just the way the model is created. Remember earlier I said about moving the legs apart? Even though it doesn't look much more, even though it takes a little bit away from the cogginess, separating the legs makes editing the skin weights a lot easier because it gives you like less of a pain to work with the legs. It's just because they're pretty close together, and no matter what skin weight type you'll use, like smooth, geodesic, closest in hierarchy, heat map, no matter what, your legs will be stuck together. I already tested all of them, and the legs always get stuck together. So you're thinking, well, Feathers, if you're telling us about skin weights, how do I fix it? So you're going to want to click on this wrench up here, select your mesh, and then select the Paint Skin Weights tool. It would also be under Paint Skin Weights tool in the Skin menu if you don't have this menu, which some versions of Maya may or may not have. To use these, you'll need at least 2014 Maya or later. So I'm going to edit the head weights first because we want them to rotate the head very easily. So if you hold Control, it should erase skin weights, and just using your left mouse button should apply the weights. So now we click away and we use a tool to test how well we did. There's still a little bit of deformation happening right here on the chest, but it's not very noticeable, and it actually looks quite good, so I think I'm going to leave it alone. Because some of that deformation also happens with using the neck, so it's just an extension. It looks nice. Some skin weights may not be where you want them, but they'll look okay and nice anyway. So then we should check and see how well the hands did. Good, good. Not the absolute coolest, because the skin weights somehow will affect both fingers with this one, but not on that one. This line is an opening in the mesh for whatever reason. So now we get to weight the legs. You have to scroll through the hierarchy to find it. Where are those legs? There they are. Right upper leg. So you'll see there's absolutely a lot of very faint influence on this part of the leg. Just erase it, and it should fix it. It might take a couple times because sometimes skin weights will snap back, and I'm not exactly sure what causes this and why, but it's weird. So, and note that in the hierarchy it's the right leg even though it is in the left leg. It's just because we had to flip our stuff 180 degrees. So most of these are fine. I'm just going to hit the foot influence a lot more on the actual foot joint, as I do not care for the upper legs twisting the feet around. See how it has removed the influence from the foot because the right foot joint has that powerful influence on it. So that looks good. That looks good too. I might strengthen the influence on the lower leg. There we go. I want to strengthen in here, strengthen in here, strengthen here a little. Oh my. Right up leg. It'll take you a little bit to get the skin weight you want, as it's actual literal painting where the joint will interact. So now we work on the left leg. The left leg has no influences on the right leg, well, joints, as it has been erased and the influence up here has been strengthened so that this limb can not have any influence on that limb. So now we're going to want to strengthen the foot influences on the other foot. I don't think I'll edit much of this video. I'll only like clip out weird silences. I don't know. Ouch. Nuts. There you go. Good foot. And now our skeleton should work a lot nicer. With skin weights, it will take you like a little bit to completely fix it. Some cogs it's taken me like 3 or 4 tries to get it completely repaired, but it seems this model is pretty happy. The suit bead appears not to have as many weird deformations. I'm still not sure why on earth this does this. I don't even know anymore. There we go. So your skin, you just gotta work with the skin weights a little bit, but it'll eventually work. It'll eventually look nice. It'll eventually look good. And now you can use the move tools to pose your cog however you want, because, well, you've got a cog in Maya, and you can do whatever you want with him and have cool, awesome fun. He says hi. He's saying bye. He's saying bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to put a cog in Maya, and check out the .zip file in the description, because that is containing everything you will need to have this tutorial, except for Autodesk Maya, because I cannot give that to you. You will have to get your own copy. So, have fun. Make cogs. Do what you want. Mix and match. Make a mingler wearing a weird shirt, I guess. See ya!